in psychology, we define career as anything that makes you productive.
So at this moment, I will say focus on the present, set your goal into bite size where you can achieve it in the quickest span of time.
Self-talk is the most important. There is nobody out there who's going to encourage you as much as you can.
Hello, everyone. Happy morning, happy afternoon, and happy evening. I wish you all of that as you're watching this one more episode from various corners of the world. Welcome to this platform of the Revolving Perspectives, powered by positivity and sponsored by continued efforts towards enlightenment. We have been talking to you in this week with women entrepreneurs as our guests on the occasion of the International Women's Day celebrating womanhood. I've been talking about it that though it is just one day in the year, it's not only that day, it's just a symbolic thing. We all believe that womanhood is to be celebrated every moment, and hence we're talking to women across the world who believe in this philosophy, who live their life in this fashion, and then they have a lot to contribute to the society and to us, to women as well. So today I'm going to talk to this lady from Malaysia who's into branding and image consultancy. You all know, as particularly women, we talk about them, they getting ready, spending a lot of time and all that, but they being very, very cautious about how they look and how they present themselves. So this is something innate, I feel, within women. But beyond this beauty or beyond this, the way you present ourselves, it's about brand. It's about the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself, the way you make your mark. And there is then specific science to it. Why not understand that what the science say, what the experts say, and this lady from Malaysia who has been into this for last 30 years, guiding her students to become image consultants, to develop themselves as a brand first, and then help people with their branding as well. May it be personal branding, may it be company branding, but branding carries a lot of value in the world today, and we all know it. We all follow it also. Why not look at ourselves not only as an individual but also as a brand? What is to be done for that, and how do we look at it? Do we feel that presenting ourselves in a nice way is only boasting ourselves? Do we look at it that way, or we feel that we can take certain efforts on ourselves internally as well as externally and build ourselves to become a brand? Let's understand from a branding image consultant. Let me welcome Sheila Wong from Malaysia. Hello, Sheila. How are you?
Hello, Minda. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much. Yes. So what would you like me to talk about?
Yes. So I have certain questions as a part of curiosity, Sheila, and that is how I'm going to start this thing with you. The first thing that I always have on my mind is women and beauty. How do you look? They say that beauty lies in the eyes of beholder, and you are an image consultant. You work a lot around beauty, and I am sure you don't only work with women, you work with everybody. So particularly talking about women and beauty, how do you look at it?
Well, I agree with you that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And I also want to support this one. It's not a crime to be beautiful. What is more important is the self-confidence, right? Some women are just very beautiful, but when they look at themselves, they think that they are ugly. It's because they do have a self-esteem issue. So our job is to bring out the beauty from within, yeah, and that confidence will shine. And how do we do it? There are three parts that we look at. The first part, which is measurable, because the minute we lay eyes on someone, we start to form an impression based on the way they project themselves, the way they groom themselves, and of course, their non-verbal cues. So we'll work on the appearance part. And when someone feels that she looks good or he looks good, you find that their self-confidence will come out. Now, the other part is how they conduct themselves. No point if you really look picture of confidence, but the minute you open up your mouth and you offend people. So that part will be the communication part and the non-verbal. How about the way you conduct yourself? How do you conduct yourself in business? And how should you behave with highest of decorum when you are mixing around with the community? So these are the three parts that we cover. But we always, for me personally, I always think that we start with the appearance.
Right.
Looking good, yes. Appearances isn't everything, but looking good does help to get things started.
Wow, wow. I got hooked on to your first statement that looking beautiful is not a crime or it's not wrong if you feel so. So
Yeah.
that's an important thing, and that brings me to the next part of my level of curiosity. That if, for example, women, beauty, society, and culture, if all of that put together, because it matters a lot that how people look at you, how in what kind of society you are in, what kind of culture you were brought up to, or you were have always been part of. I'm sure that all of that has a lot of impact on us. How, if all of that put together, how do you look at it?
Wow, asking the question where, I come from Malaysia, where we have got a few races. And how do we manage to live in harmony? Is because we respect one another's culture. So while the Muslims and the Hindus, the Tamils, they dress a bit differently, where they wear their own costumes. We learn to respect one another and to embrace that. In fact, we enjoy wearing saris because it makes heads turn. Right, so that is one part of the culture. How do we do that? Now, if I am doing a lot of government jobs,
Okay.
meaning I'm dealing with a lot of Bumi Putras, I do have to respect the culture. So in Malaysia itself, we have got different ways of dressing, but we never take things for granted. It's not like, okay, because I come from this background, I'm entitled to dress this way. But in business, because we are all in business, we will also ask everyone to embrace it the international way, where if you come from a formal industry like banking and legal and all these things, a suited look will be good. But bear in mind now, a lot of people are going into smart casual. So how smart can you get and how casual can you get? Because sometimes casual can become casualty. And
Yes.
that's why it is big market. They're just talking about dress code. I'm not
Right.
sure if they have answered your question, but how do we embrace it is really to, for us, we have got team dressing. Like Chinese New Year is just over. Yes, the Muslims, the Hindus, they celebrate together with us. We just enjoy that, right? Of having that low sang in Malaysia, having, we have got visitors where we visit one another. And even in companies, we have got all these open houses. And come Thaipusam, what do we do? I think you are in our group long enough to know that Thaipusam is a holiday. So we
Yes.
will celebrate. We may not know the Hindu ways, but we'll still celebrate with our Hindu friends. And how do we do it? When we have got these open houses, corporate open houses, we dress our own Western outfit. But somehow or rather, when it comes to like Hari Raya, the Muslim fasting month, we will do our best to wear the traditional costume to just get a feel of the festival.
Right, right. So you
Chinese, you wear the cheongsam and all, yes.
yeah. So what I gather from whatever you're saying is the beautiful blend that you all have reached to, and the way you cherish it also. I also wanted to ask you this question, that typically societies and cultures have their own ways to look at beauty, or the way we carry ourselves. Like, I'm sure in your image consultancy sessions you must be guiding people on what the dressing could be or how they can carry themselves or what. So all of these things, when we do with ourselves, society has a specific way to look at it. And when they do not respect this particular way, then somebody coming from that culture finds it very difficult to carry herself or himself in that fashion, in that society or in that culture. So what do you have to say about that?
I think the first thing is respect for me, right? I will respect that there's differences, and I will respect that, right, there's a certain way of dressing in that culture. And if I am going to that particular place where they are the host, we will respect what the culture is and we follow that. Do as what the Romans would do when you are in Rome. That is my philosophy. And I think so far we have managed to cohabit with each other happily and peacefully.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful. But then, does society reciprocate in the same way? What has been your experience?
For, you see, in Malaysia, as I'm saying, you know, I'm more familiar with the culture in Malaysia. This is what we do. So that means if there is a Muslim open house, we'll do our best to wear their traditional costume, and somehow or rather, we find that we connect better. But if we are to wear our own outfit, that means our own Western outfit, we have to make sure that our arms are covered. That's why I wear a lot of turtleneck, as our chest is covered. So it's to protect our modesty, it's to respect their other place, right? Whereas when we talk about the international arena, that is easy. Really easy. I go to US a lot. So if there's a day where it's called the welcome night, right? Even if I wear like how the Westerners wear, no big deal, because it's just like one of them. But the minute you wear your national costume, somehow or rather, that is a reason to start a conversation as well. It's a very nice icebreaker.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Sheila, because you have given me that kind of blend feeling, which and respect that you all also talked about. So you have been receiving and you've been training, teaching students from various cultures. Particularly when female students approach you, do they have any specific concerns, or maybe the way they look at the whole process, the training sessions? What has been your experience while dealing with them?
Yes, so when you talk about that, yes, some of the women do have some challenges because they do have a worry of how their peers look at them, especially if they have a more conservative mindset. So I wouldn't say which particular race is really very much an individual. Some people are very confident, they're very open-minded, so they say, hey, I will embrace what comes along. But there's still a group of people who will feel that, wow, I'm worried if I were to do it this way, how would my peers judge me? How would my fellow countrymen judge me? So what we do as image consultant is to pacify the fear and tell them that, look, if you're doing it right, following and conforming to industry standards, conforming to cultural beliefs, you will not offend anybody. But that is the big why you need to embrace this. So anybody can teach, anybody can groom anybody, but it's the big why. Why do you want to do it this way? Because you want to be accepted in society. So we do need to be sensitive to cultural differences.
Right.
So for me, it's more the non-verbal part, not as in like whether do we have the physical contact. It's as simple as a handshake. Do men and women exchange handshakes? So this is where we'll tell them, okay, embrace what you have, and on the other side, you give a non-verbal cue that if you do not welcome a handshake because it's against your cultural belief, all we need to do is in this country where our cultures are so diversified, is bring up your right hand to your heart, and you already given the signal that yes, this is the best way for you to greet me.
Wow. Wow.
So I can be wearing the most conservative costume, or I can be the most open-minded where I wear something that is really like mind-blowing, but my manners is something that I show that I respect you.
Perfect. Perfect. In all this, what I gather is the basic part, or from where it starts, is the respect. You have it in your mind, and then it gets reflected through your body language, through your costume, the way you have your mannerisms, from everything. But you have it within you is more important, is what I gather.
May I add on this thing? Let's think about the woman in
Hmm.
our part of the world, most part of the world, the woman, when they get married, even though they're the same race,
Hmm.
when I get married to my husband's family, to my husband and his family, we could be the same race, but we still have a little bit of cultural differences.
Correct. Yes.
When I marry into that family, I will have to learn to adapt to that, so that, you know, is to respect that, because I am in someone's home. And until such a time when I have my own home, then I will slowly have my own culture, and I will expect the same. Whoever enter my house will respect the culture that I have built for my family. So
Wow.
that part, I think if we could see this point, then whatever cultural differences we have, we can overcome that boundary of differences.
Wow, this is so enriching and enlightening, Sheila, that this is normal thing. And as women, we keep doing it, especially in Asia, where we get married, go to that family, become part of that family. This is part and parcel of our society, our culture. That is how we have been brought up. But the way you have put it is absolutely enriching. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing it. And I want to ask you that, as you have been in this industry for say last 30 long years, you have authored books and you have contributed so much to the industry, you have won awards and gathered so much of experience, you've met a lot of people. What do you think that across the world women face challenges? Are they similar? Are those challenges same across the world, or they are different as we change from country to country? And how do women deal with it? What is the scenario today, according to you?
For me, it's not the. I just met up with my Australian colleague who's an image consultant.
Mhm.
I also know a lot of American image consultants. I would say that of course the Westerners are more open and they embrace differences easily, but there will still be some of them, they do have that mindset. It's like, how would people look at me? Whereas some of them would say, take me for what I am. So it's really very important, the mindset. For me, it's not which country you come from, which nation you come from, what religion you believe in, but it's all in your mind, how broad-minded you are. And that is how I feel. So because I have got American friends who are very conservative as well, and I've got some who are so brazenly bold. So it's
Right.
totally different. Same country, but different behavioral traits.
All right, all right. So, as I understand, we are moving towards a global culture, and nobody can stop us. It's not the scenario today or yesterday. It's been years that we are now becoming global in various senses. So, the way we look at cross-cultural thing and the way we blend ourselves into the whole of that is the need of the day today. And faster or better we do it, better we find ourselves placed in this global society, is what I also feel. So now, concluding the question of this interview, Sheila, I've heard a lot from you about this image thing and the way you look at it. Now I want you to say that one keynote message from a corporate image consultant to all our women audiences. What would you like to share as that keynote message from you?
Right. Your image must be an inspiration for change because you can be the power for change.
Wow, wow. And this is not only about how you look or how you present yourself or how you carry. It's a lot to do with what we do with ourselves. So
Yes.
thank you so much, Sheila, for being with us, sparing this time and sharing your experiences and your perspective to look at the whole thing. As I said in the beginning of this interview, I am going to talk to women. I've been talking to women for last few days who are literally celebrating their womanhood every single moment. And celebrating womanhood does not mean that how beautiful you look or how presentable you make yourself. It's a lot to do something that is within you. Celebrating womanhood is about you being happy, you feeling that joy, and you sharing that with all the people around you, making them happy as well. So it's all about the day, International Women's Day, and this series is all about celebrating womanhood. Thank you so much for listening to us. And as we are approaching the International Women's Day, let's celebrate the day and the whole year with the same feeling. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We often think of diversity as being a gender-led thing, whereas diversity is a simple English term that celebrates the differences between each of us.